What is going on, people from the tube? Welcome back to another Pancho Things. Today I'm going to be talking about what are my options and my plans to better my shotgunning for what is left of the season. Let's get started. As you guys know, I've been having some issues, missing a lot of birds, and quite a few of you guys have commented, and thank you so very much for the comments and the information. It helped me to kind of like finger point what's going on, and I'm sorry if you hear Commodore. Commodore is just, we came in from training and he's just like super heavy breathing. He's fine, he's just worked up. So, what can I do in order to improve my shooting? Some people were commenting, well, you're taking really far shots. Actually, not so much. All the shots that I have taken through the entire season have been in between 25 to 40 yards. Only few shots have been pushing out of that boundary. And I learned that on the second and the third season, that I was taking shots a little bit farther out that I should have, and I corrected that, and I've been trying to keep myself from doing that. Now with the GoPro, things might look a little bit, the distance, the gauge of the distance might be a little bit off because of the lens of the camera, but I promise you guys, I'm not taking shots that are considered unethical. Those shots are being really well measured, okay? And the reason why I know that it's really well measured is because, one, I don't want to spend too many shells, because on the refuge that I normally hunt, you can only have 25 shells on you at all times. If you run out, you have to go to your car and get another 25. Here's the problem with that, is that sometimes my car is several miles away from where I'm hunting, so I gotta be really conservative with my shots and make sure that I can have the best accuracy so I don't have to do that work. Another thing that was commenting was my choke tube pattern. And if you guys watched my patterning of the shotgun, this year I'm using a new shotgun. It's an SB3 Benelli Super Black Eagle 3. New shotgun. Literally I did the pattern a week before beginning of the season, and unfortunately that was the time that I could afford to get the shotgun. I went with Carlson choke tubes because those are the choke tubes that I put on my Supernova, and it works just great. So I went and bought the Carlson choke tubes that will feed my Benelli. Now when I did my patterning, I was patterning at 30 yards, and the mid-range was way too open. Like, we're talking, I was even missing the entire 30-inch circle. Like, I was missing it. Like, that thing was just way too open out of 30 yards. When I went to the full choke, I noticed that my pattern was tighter within that circle. So I was like, hey, that's gonna be it. That's gonna be the choke tube that I'm gonna start the season with. Now, I did the same thing with the Supernova. I started shooting the Supernova with the full choke, and I got really good with it. But it got to a point in probably mid-season last year. I switched to my mid-range because I was having almost the same issue. I was missing birds and things weren't working the way I wanted. So one of the things that I'm gonna do for the rest of the season, logically gauging on what the birds are doing and what's happening, is that I'm gonna go into my mid-range choke tube. And initially I was blaming everything on just the shells, and quite honestly, I gotta say, those shells, I still feel that some of those shells fire really powerful. Like they got the kick, they got that pressure that you're used to the shell. Some other ones feels really weak. So I don't know if I got a bad batch. I don't know if some of those shells were sitting in my garage in a contained box that shouldn't let any humidity or anything like that. Well, I live in Southern California, so there's no humidity here. But I don't know. That could be a thing. But I don't know if that thing, it is such a thing, if that makes any sense. I know that I'm talking almost in riddles here, but so I went and got some different shells and I'm gonna do a try, and my work might not work, but it's also something that I've been wanting to do. I've been waterfowling for 4 seasons, so that means 4 years, and I've been using the same shells for 4 years. Kind of like if ain't broken, why fix it, right? So I think it's about time for me to try something different, experience a different type of shells. One are the heavy shot, heavy metal shells. These are 3 threes, so 3-inch, number 3s. I'm gonna try the heavy metals. These guys, I think that are 30% high density bismuth layer with steel. So if I'm not mistaken, the bismuth on this shell is a number smaller than the steel. So you got steel, and then let's say that in this case the steel is 3, then you're gonna have your bismuth is gonna be 4s, or vice versa. I'm not 100% sure on how that's gonna go, but yeah, I'm gonna try these guys. Another thing that I'm willing to try is gonna be the heavy hammers, heavy shot as well. This one, instead of being, that one is 30, this 30% bismuth layer with steel, this one is 15% bismuth and steel. So you got more steel on this one than on the heavy metal. So we're gonna try these once again, 3-inch, number 3s. That's what we're gonna try on those. What else I got? I got some Federals. I got a new box of Federals. So I got a new box of the Speed Shock Federals. Now, unfortunately, I could not find these on 3 3s. So I ended up having to find these guys. The only thing that it was available was 3.5s, which I have no problem with. 3.5s, number 2s. I have shit number 2s in the past too. I'm okay with that. So I'm gonna try this guy and see what is gonna happen. I'll give it a run too. We're trying everything here. Pretty much anything that can happen. I also got another brand new box of the Kent Spy Steels, and these are 3s, number 2s. They didn't have number 3s, so I went with number 2s. So I'm going with these guys as well, and give it a run and see what was gonna happen with these guys. Full steel, just like what I've been shooting pretty much for 4 years. So we're gonna go with these guys as well, and I think I got a different number size on heavy metals. Once again, heavy shot, I got heavy steel. These are 2 3/4. They didn't have 3s on number 3s. Just steel shot. We are gonna see what is gonna happen. So I got all these guys to try. I'm not gonna try them all in the same hunt, so I can have more of a more accurate statement of how I feel with all these shells, and see where we are with that. That's one thing. So the last thing that I had is being accustomed to the shotgun. With the Supernova, which was my first shotgun for waterfowl, it took me almost 2.5 seasons to get really used to that shotgun. Like literally the weight, how to point with that thing, how to swing, the pump, everything. Took me about 2 seasons, and I'm extremely accurate with that shotgun. Extremely accurate. If you go back to the videos and watch the opener of Dove Hunting, yeah, I'm that accurate with that shotgun. Like, we're talking that on the Dove Hunting season, I was averaging 1 shell per bird. That's it. 1 shot, bird down, move along. So, but that took some time, and it took a lot of shells to get to that. Now I'm shooting a new shotgun, way lighter. Logically, you don't have a pump. This is an autoloader. It's different. Now, one thing that I read when I was doing all my research to see what shotgun I wanted to do, it was in between, if I'm not mistaken, it was in between the Browning Maxus 2 or Maxus 3, I can't remember, and the Benelli Super Black Eagle. And I ended up going with the Benelli because it's inertia driven versus gas driven, which it's a little bit more parts to clean. Something happened in the field, I would have to strip the thing apart. There's more parts to take care of versus the inertia driven, which is really simplistic system. That's why my selection ended up being the Benelli Super Black Eagle 3. When I was doing that research though, I really saw a lot of people talking and throwing the term of floating the bird. And somebody was mentioning on a research, once again, take this with a grain of salt, I don't know if this is true or not. They said that the way that this gun is designed European style, you don't center mass the target. Let's see if I can. So I got a CD. So you don't center mash the target. You don't aim to the center. You aim below it. You float the target. So if this is your target that you're intending to shoot, you're gonna put your bead below it. The reason being is that shotgun is designed to put a 60-40 pattern, meaning 60% of the shot is gonna go above of where you're pointing at, and 40% is gonna go below, giving you a nice tight pattern. So I haven't been paying attention to that. And I'm talking to another waterfowler at the marsh. He's like, oh yeah, that's the same shotgun that I use. And I was complaining about the cans, and he's like, well, those are my backup shells. That's what I use. And we talked about the choke tube, and it so happened that we use the same choke tubes. So he's like, sounds to me that you're not floating the bird. Here it comes again, the terminology. And I'm like, that's interesting. So I went deep into the terminology and what it is, and that's what I just explained. It is kind of difficult to get out of use. Funny enough, I don't know if that's the case for the Supernova, but as accurate as I am with the Supernova, I don't float the bird on the Supernova. I actually follow straight the bird leading, and that's it. I don't know. That's something that I need to be paying attention and try it. Start floating the birds. That doesn't mean that I'm gonna take my shots stationary with the bead here. That's not what we're talking. What we're talking is that if the bird is coming, instead of following it and leading it, I'm gonna lead, but here. So I gotta lead this way instead of leading this way. There is quite a difference there. So, hey, if that's what is gonna make me accurate with that shotgun, hey, I gotta figure it out, right? So that's what it is. That's the approach I'm taking on this whole thing. One, time factor is not there. I don't have a lot of time. I'm in the middle of the season, so I don't have time to be patterning every single box of these shells. That's gonna happen later. I'm gonna pattern these guys later and find out what is yielding the best results. But I'm going to do all these things right now. We are starting this on my next hunt. So keeping an eye on my distance and the shots that I'm taking, how far I'm going. I'm gonna open the pattern with the mid-range Carlson's cremated porter. I'm gonna try different shells, and I'm gonna be floating the bird. Among all of these, somebody really kindly sent a message and thank you. Guys, I don't know if this happened to everybody, but it is frustrating. I've been working really hard all year to acquire the gear just to prepare to going to the season and getting into this situation is extremely aggravating. It is extremely aggravating to hit a rod like this where you're not hitting anything. When I say anything, it's like the last hunt I did, I put 25 shell bugs and I got one bird. And when I tell you that every single shot that I was putting was at 25 to 30 yards, that's what it was. I had birds decoying and I missed them all. So it is extremely aggravating to go through that. And somebody just messaged me in the platform of YouTube, and they said, hey man, you know, this is what I would do if I was you. Go with open that pattern. And I was like, yep, that's 100% correct. And if you need to try some different shells, just try them. Steel density with a little bit of that also is a factor on the crippling side of things. And he said, besides that, you could also be in a rut where you're just missing, and it happens to all of us. And I felt a little bit of relief when I read that. I was almost to the point that I was going to go to the doctor to get my eyesight checked, because I'm like, this is impossible. Like, this is just crazy. And the reason why I said it's impossible, I just had to do a requalify on a range with handguns, and baby, those groups were this tight. Dominant hand, non-dominant hand, on my knees, both hands, single-handed. That pattern was a 1/4-inch pattern. So yeah, it's not my eyesight for sure. But I was like, oh heck, if you need to go through it, let's go through it. Hey, you might need some glasses, might be able to put some birds down. But turns out that it's not that, guys. It turns out that it's a mix, it's a combination of a lot of things. I've been putting a lot of hours. I have a lot of my work schedules are heavy, and the drive setup, the terrain to get to dog hunting, it puts a toll. So it could have been a combination of me hitting the rod, plus being tired, plus not having an open pattern, plus having possibly a defective shell, plus maybe taking some shots that are a little bit farther out than what I should have, the not floating the birds. All of these things, I think that all just balled up and created a complete chaos in my head. So this is what I'm saying I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna try, and we're gonna see what happens. We just finished with Thanksgiving, which, if you didn't read the message, happy Thanksgiving to all of you. And just a couple of days off from hunting. Gain my perspective back, gain my energy back, gain my will back. So we're gonna hit it hard for the rest of the season, guys. And I'm gonna implement all of this. If you have any other tips, ideas of what might be going on with my pointing and my accuracy when it comes to getting these birds, please comment down below. I do appreciate all the information, all the knowledge. Please comment down below. I do enjoy reading all your comments, getting all that information. A lot of you grew up waterfowling. That wasn't my case. I come from a concrete city. Thank you so very much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell so you can be notified every time that I upload a new video. Thank you so very much for everybody that has commented. Thank you so very much for all the knowledge. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate that. And please keep commenting. I actually get a lot of knowledge from you guys, and I actually enjoy reading your comments and communicating. I'm the type of person that I like to talk. If we are in person, I probably will talk your ears out. So that is supernatural to me. If you guys comment, you can bet I'm gonna reply to your comments. So thank you so very much for the support. Thank you so very much for being there. And to all my waterfowlers out there, thank you so very much. And to you, good luck with the rest of the season. And I will see you in the next one. Pancho out.